The haunting of the Skibidi Toilets. It all started as a joke. Like most strange internet trends, people posted videos about Skibidi toilets, quirky, creepy, dancing toilets with faces that seemed more funny than scary. But in my town, that joke became something far more sinister. I didn't believe the rumors at first. Who would? Talking toilets. It seemed too absurd to be real. But then people started disappearing. It was subtle at first, just the occasional person who skipped town, maybe an unexplained absence from work. But the connection became clear when more and more people went missing after visiting the same place, an old decrepit public restroom on the edge of town. I heard about it through my friend Mark. He was always up for a laugh, and when he heard about the so-called Skibidi Toilet Curse, he dared me to go with him and check it out. We laughed about it, called it ridiculous, but something about the way his eyes flickered with excitement unsettled me. One cold evening, Mark and I drove out to the location. The restroom was in a deserted park, hidden away by tall, overgrown trees and rusty signs warning about its disuse. The building itself was cracked and worn, with the faint smell of decay creeping out from inside. "Ready for some skibidi fun?" Mark grinned, shoving his phone in my face, playing the familiar Skibidi toilet meme. We laughed nervously, but our footsteps slowed as we approached the door. Inside, it was worse than I expected. The floor was wet, though it hadn't rained in days. The air felt thick, like it was weighing down on my chest, making it hard to breathe. The toilets were grimy, their lids slightly ajar, as though waiting for something, or someone. That's when Mark heard it, a faint, rhythmic humming. "Do you hear that?" he whispered, his voice shaking a bit. I strained my ears and caught it too. An eerie tune, familiar but twisted. It was the Skibidi song, playing faintly from one of the stalls. "Mark, let's get out of here," I muttered. But Mark was already stepping closer to the stall at the far end of the room, the source of the music. The door to that stall creaked open, just a crack, revealing the toilet inside. Its lid lifted slowly, and there on the porcelain seat was a grinning face. Eyes wide and unblinking, mouth stretched into an impossibly wide grin. "Skibidi, dop, dop, dop," the toilet sang, the voice low and distorted. My blood ran cold. Mark laughed nervously, stepping back, but the toilet's face moved, jerking violently as it tried to rise from the seat. "No way," he muttered, trying to back away faster. But it was too late. The stall doors slammed shut around us, trapping us inside the restroom. One by one, the toilets around us began to stir, their lids lifting, revealing more grinning faces, each chanting that same cursed Skibidi Dop Dop tune, growing louder and louder. Mark screamed, trying to pry open the door, but the handles wouldn't budge. The grinning toilets edged closer, moving on their own, the sound of their ceramic bodies scraping the floor filling the room. Suddenly, the toilet nearest to Mark lunged. Its lid clamped down on his leg with a sickening crunch. Mark shrieked in agony, trying to pull free, but it was useless. One by one, the toilets surrounded him, their lids chomping down as they pulled him closer and closer to the stall. "Help me!" he cried out, but I was frozen, too horrified to move. All I could do was watch as Mark was dragged into the stall, his screams muffled by the sound of the Skibidi chant, growing louder and louder. And then, silence. The toilets all returned to their places, their lids closing slowly as if nothing had happened. Mark was gone. I don't remember how I escaped. My mind is a blur, but I somehow found myself outside, gasping for air, my hands shaking uncontrollably. Mark was never found. The authorities said he probably ran off, but I know the truth. The Skibidi toilets took him. Now every time I hear that cursed song, my skin crawls and I can't shake the feeling that they're still out there, waiting for their next victim.